Welcome to Cherry Hill Tuition, where incredible results are achieved. In this mathematics tutorial, I will cover some of the excellent processes used by Cherry Hill to achieve the highest grades. Let's get started. So before we go through some carefully selected questions, let's go over some background theory. So this tutorial is going to be about the Cartesian equation. The Cartesian equation can be written as y is equal to mx plus c. So y and x are coordinates of a point on the line, and the line is described as y is equal to mx plus c. So y is equal to mx plus c is the equation of a line. M is the gradient. C is the y-intercept. In order to identify the correct value of the gradient and the y-intercept, the equation needs to be in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So y needs to be on its own on one side of the equation. This will make more sense once we go through a few more questions. But for example, let's say we have the equation 7x minus 3y is equal to minus 13. Looking at this, we cannot identify the gradient or the y-intercept. We need to make y the subject. So let's start by adding 3y to both sides. Now, the 3y's cancel out on the left-hand side, leaving us with 7x is equal to minus 13 plus 3y. And then, because we need to get rid of this minus 13 and this multiplied by 3, let's start by eliminating the minus 13 by adding 13 to both sides, leaving us with 7x plus 13 is equal to minus 13 plus 3y. Now, the minus 13 and plus 13 cancels out, so we are left with 3y is equal to 7x plus 13. And now the last step is to divide everything by 3. So the 3's cancel out, leaving us with y is equal to 7 over 3x plus 13 over 3. Now this is now in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So your gradient m is 7 over 3, and your intercept is 13 over 3, your y-intercept. And that's your answer. Okay, so let's go through a few examples, and this will start to make a lot more sense. So question 6, plot the following points on the same graph and join them to make a straight line. Your x-axis and y-axis should both go from minus 3 to plus 3. So what I've done is I've drawn my set of axes already, and now we just need to plot the points. So we have A and B. So let's just label this as 1, 2, and 3. So let's do 1 first. We have minus 2, 0. So minus 2 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis is here. And then we have 2, 0. So 2 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis is here. So let's now get a different color for B and C. So B is 2, 0 and 0, 3. So we've already labeled B. Now let's label C. So 0 on the x-axis and 3 on the y-axis, which is there. And then we have C, which we've already done, and A, which is minus 2 and 0. So we've already done all of these points, and all we need to do now is join them to make straight lines. So from here to here. So what we've done is made a triangle. So plotting is quite simple. All you need to do is maybe practice it a little bit, and then you should be great at it. Okay. Question 2, identify the gradient and intercept of the following equation. So what we need to do is get this equation into the form y is equal to mx plus c, and then we will be able to identify the gradient and the intercept. So what we need to do is make y the subject. Now we're starting off with 2y is equal to 6x plus 4. The only thing stopping the y from being on its own is this multiplied by 2. So we can divide both sides by 2 to eliminate this multiplied by 2, leaving us with 2y over 2 is equal to 6x over 2 plus 4 over 2. On the left-hand side, the 2's cancel out, leaving us with y. And on the right-hand side, we have 6x over 2, which is 3x. And then we have 4 divided by 2, which is 2. And we now have this in Cartesian form. And we can identify the gradient and the intercept because y is equal to mx plus c. So m, which is the gradient, is 3, and c, which is the intercept, is 2. And that's your answer. So have a go at this on your own without looking at my working out to check if you get the right answer. Question 6, identify the gradient and intercept of the following equation. So again, we've got minus 7y is equal to 7x plus 14. What we need to do is get this into the Cartesian form, y is equal to mx plus c, and then identify the gradient and the intercept. So let's start. The first thing we need to do is make y the subject, and the only thing stopping the y from being on its own is this minus 7. So we can divide both sides by minus 7, leaving us with minus 7y over minus 7 is equal to 7x over minus 7 plus 14 over minus 7. Simplifying this, the minus 7's cancel out, leaving us with y. And on the right-hand side, 7 divided by minus 7 is just minus 1. So we have minus x. And then 14 divided by minus 7 is minus 2. So this is now in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So m is minus 1 and c is minus 2. Okay, so hopefully this is starting to make a little bit more sense now. I think the more you practice, the easier it should get. It is quite straightforward. So again, have a go at this question on your own without looking at my working out to check if you get the right answer. Question 16, identify the gradient and intercept of the following equation. So we have minus 5y is equal to minus 35 plus minus 35x plus 5. So again, we need to make y the subject. So we can make this equation look like y is equal to mx plus c. So minus 5y is equal to minus 35x plus 5. What we can do is divide both sides by minus 5. This will leave us with y on the left-hand side because the minus 5's cancel out. Minus 35 divided by minus 5 is just 7, and then we have the x, and then we have 5 divided by minus 5, which is minus 1. And this now looks like y is equal to mx plus c. So m is the gradient, which is 7, and the intercept is minus 1, and that's your answer. Okay, so hopefully you are getting quicker at this. Have a go at this question and check if you get the right answer.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember, practice makes perfect. Never give up. I will see you in the next tutorial.